The Minnesota Timberwolves are in the Western Conference Finals. What a season this team has had so far. They started out with expectations of, okay, at least get in the playoffs and have a good run, maybe get out of the first round, to in the Western Conference Finals and beating Denver three times in their building. And the question this year for me was Karl Anthony Towns' leadership. Would he allow Anthony Edwards to continue to ascend and be the number one option? It doesn't get talked about enough, but Karl Anthony Towns deserves a ton of credit for allowing Ant Man to become the alpha of this team. A young guy who's still ascending in the NBA is only going to get better, which is scary to even think about. And Cat has allowed him to take that leadership role. And that's a true unselfish move to make because Cat could have been like, Ant, you're awesome. I know you are expected to be the next guy and be leading our franchise, but I'm still here. I've been here longer than you. But he didn't. And he hasn't made a lot of noise this year in the media. I know last year he questioned Ant's diet, and it did rub me the wrong way. But this year, Cat has been a professional, and they are in the Western Conference Finals. In fact, without his defense against Denver in Game 7 and without his offensive production when they made that run, Minnesota is not winning Game 7. It's that simple because Ant didn't shoot the ball well. Denver was blitzing two or three guys at him, and Cat took advantage. When he had that putback dunk, when it was 93-88, it just cemented everything about his career up to this point. And I know he had his foul troubles, but we have to still give him credit for at least showing up. They picked up Rudy Gobert last year. It looked like a really bad move, especially when he had that incident with Kyle Anderson last year where he punched him in the face. But they worked things out. And then, of course, Jaden McDaniels, amazing on defense. I know he got hurt in the Denver series, but having him back, I think he was either in the Denver series beforehand, but I know he was out for that series. Having him at the point of attack on defense is just unfair. And of course, Ant-Man, what else is there to say about Ant-Man right now? This guy is unbelievable. He is only going to get better as a superstar. I know he shot 6 of 24 from the field, but he's 22 years old and he's in the Western Conference Finals in his fourth season. It's just crazy to even think about. I think Minnesota right now should be the favorites to win the championship. I know I'm a Boston fan, but I can't ignore what I'm seeing. They have a championship level defense. I've been saying that throughout the playoffs that Minnesota has the best defense. It's championship level. The only thing that might hurt them is their offense. They do go through slumps where they struggle to generate offense, but they overcome that when they pick up the pressure on defense and the energy comes back. That's how they get the offense rolling. If they can lock in defensively and stay focused and keep their composure, then they got a great shot against Boston. I'm not trying to dismiss them against Dallas, but I think they're going to beat Dallas in 6 because I just think defensively they're better. They have better size. I know Gafford and Lively, they're solid, but this is a different beast. And Anthony Edwards is not going to be afraid of Luka Doncic. He's going to get up in his face, and Luka is going to have to keep his mouth shut to the rest because Minnesota is going to terrorize them, especially on defense. They don't give up anything. They kill Alexander Walker, Naz Reid. I mean, Naz Reid, I didn't want to forget about him. Sixth man of the year. What he did in game 1 set the tone for Minnesota. He came in late in the game. They took out Rudy Gobert, and he made some key buckets down the stretch. And game 7, key defensive plays with a block. Had a big shot. I think it was a layup or a tip dunk. He was just all over the place. And he played his role beautifully. So Naz Reid is a weapon, and I think he's going to be big in this last stretch of the playoffs. And he doesn't get enough love, but I think Naz Reid is amazing. To me, he's the best six man right now. Of course, he won six man of the year, but I just love his energy because he comes in and produces for Minnesota. Gives him a different weapon who can stretch the floor, who's athletic, and he's got the energy to at least play solid defense or at least compete. And that's what I love about Minnesota. They make it hard for you on the defense side of the ball. They're not going to give anything up easily, especially when they ratchet up the pressure. Are they always consistent at it? No, but they're young. However, this team, if they can continue to keep that intensity, keep that fire and hunger, they're going to win the title. So here's what's interesting about the Timberwolves roster. They have a mixture of young guys and vets on this team. Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley are their vets. And then obviously Anthony Edwards is this young rising superstar. But it's a nice combination. I know they haven't been to the finals yet, but they just went to Denver and beat the defending champs. I don't know if the experience is really going to matter at this point, especially when you have a guy like Anthony Edwards who's just not afraid of anything. And that's what I love about him. Even if he misses, he's going to keep taking that shot. And that's why I trust Minnesota more than Boston, because when I look at Tatum and Anthony Edwards, who do I trust more in those moments? I'm going to trust Anthony Edwards more. It's just that simple. I know he might go through struggles, but he will find a way to hit the dagger. When he hit that shot, made it 92-82, I'm like, that is game. And he hit that shot. He was struggling all game long, but he was great defensively. And of course, Denver did blitz him a lot on the defensive side of the ball. They just terrorized him. They dared someone else to beat them. But again, Rudy Gobert, the help side defender, he was phenomenal. I know he got destroyed in game 5 against Jokic, but it's Nikola Jokic. I don't know why everyone was terrorizing Rudy Gobert. He's won Defensive Player of the Year 4 times. He made the All-NBA defensive team today. Shout out to Rudy Gobert. He's an elite defender. I know he might get cooked sometimes, but do you always stop a generational offensive player? No, you don't. That's just not realistic. And I don't think you need to destroy him so much. I thought it was a bit much to just put him down like that. But again, he responded really well. He hit this crazy mid-range shot. He faded away. I'm like, when he hit that shot, I'm like, Minnesota's going to win. I'm like, and he was hitting like almost all his free throws. And I just thought, this is Minnesota's night. I think it's just their year. They just seem like a team of destiny. And man, if Anthony Edwards finishes the job, here's what happens. You beat Kevin Durant. You beat Nikola Jokic. You beat Luka Doncic. You beat Jason Tatum. You're the best player in the league. And I know a lot of people are going to be upset about that, but you beat the top guys in the league, and you go through the West and through the East champs who have the best record and have home court. Yeah, you're not going to be able to argue that. And you're 22 years old. Nah, you're done. You have no argument there. So I'm excited for the Wolves. This has been a great turnaround for them. Karl-Anthony Towns' leadership. I just like where Minnesota's heading. I hope they can sustain this because next year, obviously, Conley won't be the same guy who's going to get older. I think Minnesota needs to get another point guard because I think they do struggle running set offenses. And obviously, Anthony Edwards is going to get better at playmaking, but that shouldn't be his main responsibility. He needs to be scoring, slashing, and playing defense and rebounding and blocking shots. And sure, you can get better at playmaking, but I think they need another point guard to relieve him of that burden, just so he can do other things on the court. Mike Conley is good at his position, but I think if you get a backup point guard who can, get that offense structured, that way there's no confusion and it's not chaos and not going through slumps and playing this isolation basketball. It would just make their offense more polished. They were 16th in the league for a reason, I think because of just lack of playmaking, but they overcome that with their defense. As long as their defense continues to play at this level, they're going to win it all. And as much as I want to pick Boston, they're my team, it just comes down to the superstars. And when you look at Anthony Edwards versus Tatum right now, I'm going to go with Anthony Edwards. I know he didn't play well in Game 5 in Denver. Didn't play well shooting-wise in Game 7, but again, they blitzed him a lot. Everyone has bad games. So we'll see. Will experience trump the Wolves? I don't know. It's hard to say because it's just their defense. It's amazing to me. And I love where I'm seeing. I love the attitude of Anthony Edwards. When they had him interviewed talking about, Michael Jordan, he's like, no, I'm just Ant-Man. And I love that. Keep that energy because that's what I love. He can be the face of the league and he can take this NBA league by storm, man. And again, I hope the Wolves continue to have this type of dominance next year because obviously you get here, you're the new kid on the block, and they got nothing to lose. But again, come back with the hunger next year as well. So I think Minnesota, they're just amazing to me. Shout out to them. Go on it was a 60-32 run. They were down 58-38 in Denver. How hard is that to come back from? I mean, to me, that seems impossible. But for the Timberwolves, it was just a thing of beauty. Karl-Anthony Towns, shout out to him, hitting some key buckets. And I know he has foul trouble, but he got them back in the game with his scoring. And yeah, Minnesota is in the conference finals. I think they'll beat Dallas in 6. And then, I'll go Minnesota in 7 because I think it will be such a crazy series. I could see them winning in Boston to finish it out. Hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Thanks for sticking to the end. Love to hear your thoughts on the Timberwolves. Do you think they're going to win the championship? Make sure you guys like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.